We're joined, as always, by legal counsel Matt Johnson with a risk management minute. Hello, Matt, and what do you have for us this month?
Thanks, Dave, for having me. So this month I wanted to reinforce a topic we've talked about before, but that is the ever increasing need to have full and complete documentation for your transactions. In my world, I see an increasing number of claims, be either informal and they get worked out, or formal and they go to litigation or the licensing board over transactions. The temperament in the community is just more on edge. I think buyers and sellers are more nervous and anxious and more willing to point fingers. So at this stage, all the more reason to make sure whatever you do, fully document your transaction. That means complete all the paperwork properly. Don't fly through it. Don't allow the fact that you're doing it digitally to make you skip and go too quickly. That's super important. And then equally important, if there are material issues that happen during the transactions, negotiations, discussions about fixtures on a property, make sure you have preferably an email, because text messages are harder to retrieve and keep, but an email either with the client or an email with the other side explaining what you did. If you guys have a verbal conversation over an important point, send a follow-up email or text message. Hey, I just wanted to confirm that we just had a discussion. We agreed on XYZ. If I don't have this right, please let me know right away. I can't tell you how important that kind of documentation is to keeping you out of trouble. If there's a claim that comes about and your documentation is bulletproof and you have communications via email on all the material points, that claim is not going to go very far. If you're in a world where you say you told the buyer one thing and the buyer remembers it differently, or you told the listing agent something and the listing agent remembers it differently, those are the kind of cases that drag on and off and go to court because neither side can disprove the other. So take the time. Everybody's busy, but take the time, use the technology, and fully document what happens and what everybody agrees to do. The time you spend now may seem like a lot, but it is nothing compared to the time you'd end up spending with me or another attorney if there's an actual claim filed.
And I assume, Matt, that it's everything right down to the last detail. We're actually selling now, and here's an example. I don't know if it's a good one, but we have a porch swing, and we aren't sure whether or not that's something just for us to take or whether it's something that the seller should have. We assume it's ours, but I don't want to assume. So we're making sure to have these conversations documented. And they have said, no, that's yours. But that seems like that could be an example of something where they come back later and say, oh, no, I assumed that was ours.
100%. You're there, transactions are littered with those types of issues. Do not assume that you understand how the other side, who you haven't really dealt with, is going to perceive that issue. So it's always better to have your reach out to the seller or use your agent to say, hey, look, can we just clarify? I mean, things like that. Window treatments are a classic one. Refrigerator, washer and dryer. Like if there's any shred of doubt or unclear, any lack of clarity on your part, get the answer. It's much better to have the discussion than to be at the closing table or get the nasty email a week after closing. Hey, we went to go use the beautiful porch swing and found that you took it. Like, that's outrageous. Like, so it's better to deal with it head on and talk about it.
Communicate.